All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Mindset here. Good to see you guys tonight. We're going to be chatting about goal setting. I'm really excited to be bringing the science of goal setting. And you can see in this picture that I made, this slide of sort of the founding forefathers of the science of getting rich. You got my mentor, Bob Proctor. You got Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill, who's the author of Think and Grow Rich, and then Andrew Carnegie, the world's first recorded billionaire. So some of the information I'll be sharing with you guys tonight comes directly from the late great Andrew Carnegie, and it's been passed through generation to generation. Just hasn't been taught in schools. That's the only downside, guys. So if you're excited for tonight, comment on ready in the chat. We're going to get started in about a minute here. Let's see, we got Angie, we got Nancy. Good to see you guys. Go ahead and comment in the chat where you guys are coming in from. If you're excited for tonight, type I'm ready in the chat. We're going to take a deep dive into goal setting. And, you know, guys, I always like to start these lives, the content that we're giving to you on Monday nights, really just highlighting the fact that, you know, if you find yourself, well, at whatever age, right? I was middle-aged, I was in my early 40s. If you find yourself stuck, if you find yourself struggling, if you find yourself, you know, not hitting some of the goals you want to hit, first and foremost is to realize it's just not your fault, right? We want to make sure that you guys aren't beating yourselves up and really blaming yourselves for things that are outside of your control. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying you shouldn't take accountability and we shouldn't learn things, we shouldn't change. I'm just saying, you know, if you haven't been taught this information, like Napoleon Hill, like Earl Nightingale or Bob, then it's really not your fault. If you're not taught how the world's wealthiest people think and act and operate, then it's not your fault. If you're growing up in a situation like most people around the world, where your parents, you know, were not aware of wealth building, and they might not have been aware of healthy eating or healthy living either, then you really can't blame yourselves. Now, what I want to say about that, though, again, is to not beat yourselves up about the past, but also to take accountability and move forward together. So without further ado, guys, we're going to really help, I think, get rid of some pain points. You know, if you're lacking direction in your life, tonight should help you. If you're setting goals and you're sick of missing them, then tonight should help you. If you see other people crushing it in your industry, in your field, this happens a lot in network marketing, and you're wondering why you aren't succeeding, then tonight should help you. And again, the first thing, guys, is really just to kind of let go and let God and realize that it's just not your fault. All right, so let's jump in, guys. There's a reason why most of the world is missing their goals, missing their targets. Again, I was spinning my wheels for the first 40 years as well, because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a proven system. You know, I had gone to traditional schooling, high school, college, you know, mechanical engineering school. And I was a mechanical engineer with General Electric Company. Very blessed to have gone on that path. But, you know, I didn't grow up like a Warren Buffett or I didn't grow up with somebody like him as my dad or my mentor. So I just went through the same school system that most of you guys probably went through. And again, found myself in my early 40s kind of saying, you know, is there any more to life here? Like, what's the bigger picture? Why are some people crushing it and I don't seem to be? And that's what really caused me to start to take a deep dive and to seek out some information. Ultimately, that's how I met Bob Proctor, and I started to learn how to set goals, simple things, right? How to set a goal. And most people aren't setting goals because they don't think they can achieve something. That's really the simple fact. The reason why some people say, you know what, I'm comfortable, I'm okay, like I don't really need to stretch and grow, is because they just don't think they can do it. So guys, 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2. 1 + 1 = 11 if you're an entrepreneur, right? And even things like fear. I love this phrase here, right? Fear is an illusion. Fear is something that happens to people when they try to do something that they just haven't done yet. And if you're not educated on how to process this emotion, this energy and motion called fear, then you might freeze up and really just not go after things. So we're going to tackle that a little bit here tonight as well. And I can promise you what we're going to go over tonight. You know, take notes. We're going to post the recording. You'll be able to study it again. You know, this is what brought me from sort of traditional thinking as an employee to an entrepreneur with, you know, over 10 revenue streams. And I don't say any of that to impress you. It should be a relief to you guys, because I was kind of spinning my wheels until my early 40s, right? Hey, Rob, what's up, brother? Good to see you guys. Michelle, what's up? What's up? I see Dan Barnett. What's up, handsome? Good to see you guys. So guys, what we're talking about here tonight in goal setting is what led me to all these different companies, to be CEO of a few companies, and towards the person you see here today. And again, when I first got in front of this material, my construction company, we were doing about $1 million a year, which again, in construction, that's not that big of a deal, since only about 10% of that lands in your pocket, right? So it's barely cracking 6 figures a year, even though I had, superior traditional education. I was, like I said, engineer, architect, builder, but I had inferior results. So when I started working with Bob Proctor and understanding what goals were and how to set them, that first year, we almost 10x'd our income. So long before Mr. Grant Cardone was running around saying 10x, we literally did this in our business, and we've never looked back ever since. So I want to share with you, how that happened for me. Hopefully, highlight some paradigms, hopefully give you guys some information that's going to help you guys move to the next level. So first of all, we're going to say, what is a goal, right? We're talking about goal setting, but what is a goal? And a lot of people say, well, it's a task, or it's a target. It's something you're reaching towards, right? It's a destination. But it's really not. Oh, looks like we got Toronto in the house. What's up, Lawrence? Good to see you, brother. A goal is not a destination. A goal is actually energy. A goal is actually energy. And what we teach people is a goal is an idea that we fall in love with, right? Now, it might lead to some action, and it might be some results at the end. There might be some money. It might be physical fitness. You might have some things that you want in your life, but a goal is actually energy. It's a transmutation of energy, right? So a goal is an idea that we fall in love with. And then you're going to say, well, okay, what is an idea, right? We like to get to the root cause. We like to get to the foundation of explaining things so you guys can really, really tap in here. So an idea, right, is a collection of thoughts. It's a collection of thoughts, might be hundreds of thoughts, might be thousands, but when you say, I want to get to $100,000 a month, there's hundreds or even thousands of thoughts that go into that idea, right? So it's a bunch of thoughts. And then you get to say, what is the thought, right? What is the thought? And a thought is energy again, right? It's electronic energy sent or received from your brain. So when you're talking about a goal, it's really transmutation of energy. It's energy flow. And it's an idea that you fall in love with. So it's energy that we hold in a high vibration. When we talk to you guys, if you've been in the group for a while, about vibration, love, the frequency of love is the highest vibration a human being can hold. Right? When you're in love, it's literally the best thing that ever could be. It's the highest vibration I think human beings experience. So now when you say a goal is an idea I fall in love with, it's energy that we hold in the highest vibration. And that energy goes to and through us into form. So that's sort of the scientific, what is a goal, but let's break it down, right? You hear me talk about the law of vibration, and there's a lot of universal laws, right? There's 7 universal laws. And these laws are not taught in school. I went to engineering school, didn't learn anything about any of these really, except for the law of relativity a little bit. But it's very important for you guys to understand, at least at some level, the law of vibration. And the law of vibration really just states that everything is in motion, right? Whether it's your thought energy, whether it's your skin, whether it's this computer, everything is in a vibrational state. This is just basic high school science. And when we talk about these universal laws, think about like the law of gravity. Whenever I'm talking to somebody with the law of vibration, I say, well, do you understand these laws? And they say, well, not really. And I say, well, tell me a little bit about gravity. And they say, well, and you really can't, right? We have theories about gravity, and we've gotten in harmony with it, but we can't explain gravity. So when I'm talking about universal laws, there's things like magnetism, there's things like electricity, there's things like gravity. But I want you to understand, at least at some level, what vibration is, because in order to sort of educate your mind on going after a goal, you need to understand how to raise your vibration, right? If you're in a low vibration, if you're sad, if you're in a depressed state, you're probably not going to create much of anything. So what I want to do is take a little bit of a detour here and explain vibration. The easiest way to explain it is from this picture here. Everybody here has seen an acorn. We all know that acorns turn into oak trees, but we don't really know how. Most people don't know how that happens. Oh, holy cow, we got people from Hungary. Welcome, Hungary. Good to see you guys. Love my Hungarians. So when you think about vibration, this little acorn in this woman's hand it's at a low state of vibration. It appears to be solid, and not much will happen with that acorn unless it's put into the right environment. So think about a brand new human being, a brand new baby, and think about it being in an impoverished environment or in a wealthy environment, right? Same baby, different circumstances. If it grows up in a very loving family and very nurturing and gets a good education, more than likely the baby will go on to have an amazing life. But if it grows up in a sick state or an impoverished state, it's quite likely to have a lot of challenges, right? So same baby, different environment. So it's no different with the acorn. If I was to put the acorn on hot blacktop on a 100-degree day, the vibration would decrease and it would disintegrate, right? It would turn to dust right in front of your eyes over time. But if it's in the right environment, what happens is the vibration of the acorn starts to increase, right? If you're looking at this little acorn under a microscope and you put it in a little bit of soil with a little bit of moisture and the right nutrients, you'll see because it's in harmony, it's in the right environment, it'll start to increase. And when it starts to raise its vibration, it starts to attract all the little nutrients and minerals and water and everything it needs to become the higher, fuller expression of itself. Does that make sense, guys? I want you to think about that. Think about this acorn. If it was sitting in your hand, nothing would happen. Eventually it would disintegrate. We put it in the right environment. It's the same with you guys. If we put you in the right environment, you're going to learn things, you're going to grow and stretch and become the higher, fuller version of yourself. You're going to attract people, right? Because your vibration will be higher. So it's the same with the acorn. It starts to attract through vibration all the little nutrients and minerals and things that it needs to become the higher, fuller expression of itself. And now we cannot explain the life force that grows it, but that's what most people would call God, right? Life force, love, consciousness, that's all what people are explaining is what God is. But we can explain vibration and we can explain attraction. So if you've ever heard of the law of attraction, this is what's going on. The law of attraction is a secondary law. So guys, if you've been spinning your wheels saying, why can't I attract the things I want into my life? You're probably not aware of the vibration that you're in. Does that make sense, guys? So we want to work with you here tonight on that. And this is the type of stuff we take a much deeper dive in the Mindset Masters. So if you're curious about taking a deeper dive, I believe we have a 14-day free trial right here in the group that you guys can jump in, and we go really, really deep in this stuff. So I want you to understand the law of vibration a little bit, because it's important not only to have a goal, but it's important to be in a high vibration while you're visualizing your goal. It's absolutely fundamental. The only way to achieve something is to focus on something and to be in a high vibration, and you'll attract everything you need. All right, guys. So again, when we're talking about frequencies and vibrations, I was telling you that love is one of the highest frequencies I have. And what you're looking at here is a visual chart of emotions and vibrations. And this is meant to be pictorial. It's not meant to be exact. It's not that fear is at exactly 100 megahertz. It's meant to be a color graph in some numbers to show you that fear is a lower vibrating frequency than love, right? Anger is a lower vibrating frequency than peace. And I mean, this makes sense, obviously. This is something you could show, a sixth grader and they would get it. But what I want you to understand is it's important to be in a high vibration if you want to achieve what it is you're going after. So all I want you to get from this chart here is understanding that you must be in a high vibration most of your life, most of your time, if you're going to achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve. And guys, this is how we've attracted people from all over the world. You can see right on here, we have people from Hungary, we have people from the UK, we have people from Australia, all over the world that are coming to work with us because our vibration's high and we're attracting people. Does that make sense, guys? So I wanted to give you a little bit of the science behind goal setting before we get into it, so you can understand what we call a transmutation of energy. And that's what a goal is. When Steve Jobs had the goal of creating the iPhone, it was an idea in his conscious mind, right? He had a goal in his conscious mind. He said, I want to create this phone and I want it to be all over the world. Now, because he was singular and focused, and that's all he focused on, he was on a very high vibration, that goal went into his subconscious mind. And this is really the trick, guys. What we're giving you here is the keys to the kingdom, right? You got to be able to get information from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind if you want this thing called the body to take action. right? So this is how it goes. You have an idea, I want to get to 100,000 a month. It becomes a healthy obsession and you start thinking about it morning, noon, and night. Sooner or later, the subconscious mind grabs onto it and says, why don't we start a business? Or why don't we start a network marketing company? Or why don't we invest in real estate, right? And it causes the body to start to move into motion to create results, right? So here's a little mind map of the transmutation of energy of how we get a goal from the conscious into the subconscious, causes this thing called the body to move into action. And the body will reach out to people. It'll find money. It'll basically do whatever it takes to get your goal. If you got to go to 12 years of schooling, the body will go to 12 years of schooling. So whatever your goal is, if it gets in your subconscious mind, it'll cause your body to move in action. Does that make sense, guys? I'm trying to break this down at a kind of I guess a grade school level by these pictures here. It's not enough to just wish for something. We need to understand how a goal moves from the conscious into the subconscious and causes the body to move. All right, guys. And again, you can check the replay out on this. So if this is kind of going over your head, don't worry about it. But I want to give you an example of a transmutation of energy or a goal. Let's say this couple right here has a goal of building a house. And they sit down with the architect and they describe the house to the architect, right? And I used to be an architect, so this is a good example. I would get people, they would transmute their ideas to me through communication, right? And through pictures, and they might have clip outs for magazines and things like that. But they would translate their idea to me through speaking and through pictures. And then I would take that idea. It's like maybe they want, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 3-stall garage, right? They would tell me all the things they want. And then I would design them on a computer, a 3D model of a home on a computer. Does that make sense? If anybody here has ever built a house, this is what's going on. You get an idea, I want to build a house. Then it becomes a healthy obsession. You say, we're going to build a house. And you start saving money. Well, your body starts saving money, right? And it's moving towards the goal. Now, most people here can relate to this idea of building a house, but you might not be able to relate to earning 100,000 a month. You start to disconnect from the idea. Now, there's no such thing harder or easier about earning 100,000 a month or building a home. It's just your relativity and your experience and limiting beliefs that are given to you by the people over time. Does that make sense, guys? So if you've ever built a house, you've done this transmutation of energy. And the next thing you know, the site work shows up, the excavators start digging a hole, they pour a foundation. This is actually a home we built. This is about an $8 million home that we built as I was winding up my construction career. That's why I like showing this picture. But again, this was a transmutation of energy. When I got to this property, there was a bunch of trees on it. All right. And there was actually an old house that we had to demo. But this is a transmutation of energy. And this is also going from a goal, right? From a thought to a thing. So if you've ever built a house, you've already done this. What we need to do is understand the different types of goals and how they work so that we can help you guys move towards them. All right, guys. So there's 3 types of goals, 3 types of goals, A-type goals, B-type goals, and C-type goals. And it's very important to understand what most people are going after. Now, we're conditioned through school, we're conditioned from birth and through school to go after A-type goals. These are things we already know how to do. Setting a goal to go to the gym, right? That's an A-type goal. You know where the gym is, you know how to drive a car, so you know what to do. We're just not doing it. And if you listen to my live today, I talked about this. Now, we have another lesson where we show you guys the knowing doing gap. There's a reason why most people don't do the thing that they know they want to do, but that's a whole different lesson. But this is what most people are doing. Working in your business. Let's say you do have a business, and this is very common in network marketing. We know we have to reach out to people. It's part of the deal. It's prospecting, but we don't do it, right? So setting a goal of reaching out to 10 people a day, it's not that that's not a good thing to do. You probably need to do that, but that's not really a goal because you know how to do it. You know how to use a phone. You know how to text people. You know how to reach out. Again, we can work on the knowing doing gap on a different lesson, but these are what people are calling, right? Getting up early is not a goal. You know where the alarm clock is. You know that you should go to bed at a certain time. These are just things that might be necessary, but these are what we call A-type goals. And 97% of the planet is working with A-type goals. I did this too. When I was in my construction company years ago, and we were doing about $1 million a year, I would set a goal of getting to like 1.1 million, right? 10% more growth. And corporations do this all the time, 5 or 10% growth. If you're at a job and you've been there for years, like I was when I was an engineer, I would get 5% a year raises. So we get conditioned to think that this is okay, or we get conditioned to think that it's normal, and we would never set a goal of like growing 1,000% or 10xing or even 3xing in a year, right? So make sure you're not getting caught setting A-type goals. Eating healthy is not a goal. It should just be a choice, right? It should be a lifestyle and a choice. And then there's B-type goals, right? B-type goals are conditional. And I want you to throw some fire in the chat if this has ever happened to you. You were doing something that's conditional, like, when my kids get older, then I'll start the side job. When my kids get out of school, then I'll start going to the gym. When my kids get out of the house, then I'll do this, right? Put some fire in the chat if you've ever made this one. I've done this one myself. When I make more money, then I will invest in myself. Or when I make more money, then I'll start another business, right? And when we're not thinking, we're waiting for something in the outside world to cause us to think and move forward. Does this make sense, guys? So make sure you're not setting B-type goals. This is when we're, waiting for something to happen. Like, if I get promoted at work, then I'll work harder, then I'll give more, I'll do more, right? And it's the exact opposite of what needs to happen. What you want to do is give more first, and then the results will come second. That makes sense? So these are all B-type goals. And here's my favorite, guys. When I have more time, then I'll do blank, blank, blank. It never works like that. You never get more time. Matter of fact, the clock is always ticking, right? Time is of the essence. Time is the most valuable thing that we have as human beings. So we never want to procrastinate. What we want to do is follow proven systems, proven mentors, and compress time. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We're giving you guys a glimpse at what a C-type goal is. So guys, a C-type goal is just, what do you want? Hey, Robert, what's up, brother? It's just, what do you want? Right? And actually, it's funny that Robert popped up. Robert set a C-type goal a few months ago with us in the Mindset Masters, and his goal was to leave New York. He had a union job, I believe it was a union job, and he set a goal of, he wanted to live in Florida, and he wanted to have his own business, and he wanted to, bring his girl down there, and the complete change of life. And we just showed him a couple of pretty simple things in the mind map and some simple lessons, and then of course he went on to work with us in thinking and the results, but he changed everything in just a few months, right? So a C-type goal might be, 7 figures a year or even 7 figures a month, right? My current C-type goal is 10 million a month, and that's not big or small. It depends on who you ask, right? And I'm not here to put my goals on you either. It's what do you want? If you want to be, a world-class ballerina, if you want to run a global charity, if you want to, build up real estate so that you can leave your job, whatever it is. But what you want to do is kind of go to that end result. You don't want to think at your current level of awareness, because your current level of awareness is probably very limited. Does that make sense? And again, I was doing the same stuff. I was rowing the same boat of ignorance for 43 years, right? When I got in front of this material and I set my first C-type goal, right? It was 1 million to 10 million in 12 months. I had never even thought of something like that. So guys, think about that a little bit. If I never even thought of getting to 10 million, how the hell would it ever happen? You guys see how easy this is, how simple it is? How would we ever do something if we're not holding the thought of doing that thing? So I want you guys to think about that. A lot of times we're just playing around and wishing and hoping for stuff. Buying a penthouse at the Porsche Tower, that's in my vision book here, right? Traveling the world with your family. A lot of people have travel goals. And I've been very blessed and very fortunate to, before COVID, to be bringing my family every single year to the islands, to St. Martin Island, and to different islands around the world, right? So traveling with your family might be something that you want to do. But imagine traveling for 2 months instead of just 2 weeks a year, right? Normally what happens if you're working in a job is someone else is telling you when you can go on vacation, and they're telling you how long you can do it, right? So a C-type goal might be to get yourself into a position where you can call your own shots, right? It's never about the money, guys. It's not about the money. It's about the quality of life that the money can give to you. Does that make sense? It's about being able to come and go as you please. It's about, like I said, being able to, bring your friends and family out to dinner, not sweat the bill. Little things like that, quality of life. Living in a perfectly healthy body might be a C-type goal, right? But here's the thing. Let's say you guys set a goal of 100,000 a month. What you need to do is forget the how. So I really want you to listen to this one, guys. I want you to forget the how. A lot of people say, what does that mean? Like, I need to know how. But here's the deal. If you knew how to get to 100K a month, you already would have done it. I want you to think about that. If you knew how to get to 100K a month, you already would have done it. If I knew how to get to 10 million a month, I already would have done it. Right? Now we're on our way to that, but what I'm saying is I already would have achieved that if I knew before how to get there. So I never worry about the how anymore, guys. It's just what I want. When we started off on the software company, me and a buddy had an idea in our mind. Now, I'm not a software engineer. I don't really know much about anything about software. I'm more of a mechanical guy, but that doesn't matter. I don't need to know how. I just had an idea, and we started to meet every week, and we started to ask people, filling in the blanks, and then we got a principal software engineer to join us, right? We attracted an engineer, we attracted some investors, and we started moving down that path. I still don't know exactly how it's going to get us to our goal of 21 billion, but I know that I don't need to know how. I just need to do the work, hold myself on a high vibration, and focus on the goal. And we just keep attracting the right people time and time again. Does that make sense, guys? Throw a little fire in the chat if that makes sense, because we've worked with people all over the world in all different countries, all different backgrounds, and all different incomes. And this is one of the biggest things that freezes people up. They say, well, how am I going to do that? And then they stop thinking. And then they just, the next day they go back to doing whatever they were doing. They go back to work. And it's easier to just stop thinking than it is to keep kind of pondering on this and trying to figure it out. But that's one of the reasons why we created the Mindset Masters, right? You can literally come to Monday nights and you can ask the hows, you can ask the questions, you can mastermind with people. All right, guys, so forget the how. Now, here's what I want to show you guys. I want to show you how the 1% thinks. And this is very, very important. Again, if you're seeing this for the first time, it's important to understand how the 1% thinks. Most people are looking at results. And you might be one of these people. If you're looking at your current bank account, you're looking at your current body, your current job, your current income, your current everything, and you're using that to cause your thinking, it's the exact opposite of what you want to do, right? The 1% of the world that's succeeding at a high level, we don't look at our current results to cause our thinking. Now, it's not that we don't measure our results, right? Sometimes, especially in business, you need to do some planning and tracking. I just don't let the results cause my thinking. And I'll show you what I mean here, guys. Entrepreneurs, it's always the new thinking, right? My current goal is 10 million a month. I don't look at my current bank account because I don't have 10 million a month in there, right? But it's always in the morning, the visualization. And as I'm visualizing, guess what? I get new ideas, right? But if I was looking at my current bank account, then I wouldn't get new ideas. I would be focused on my current bank account. Does that make sense, guys? I see a lot of fire in the chats. We got Lauren, we got Dan, Angie. What's up, guys? Robert, good to see you guys. Let's go, guys. It's the new thinking that's going to change your feelings or your vibrations. Remember we did that scale, right, with the vibrations and the feelings? So excitement is a high vibration. So the new thinking every morning is going to get you excited. It's going to cause you to think about new things. And these new feelings are going to cause the body to move into action, new actions, right? This is how I went from doing additions and remodels to multi-million-dollar homes, right? And this is how we went from doing multi-million-dollar homes to CEO of a software company. Does that make sense, guys? These new actions are going to get you new results. So, guys, if at all possible, take a screenshot of this. You should have this thing printed out on your refrigerator, put it next to your bedstand. This is how the world's wealthiest people think and act and operate. They're in the morning, they're falling in love with their idea every single morning. What is their goal? What is their goal? All right, guys, hopefully this helps here. Again, remember this, that wealth is 95% mindset and only 5% what you do. 95% mindset. That's what we're teaching you guys here is mindset and 5% what you do. And we're always going to need a plan, right? Remember I told you guys before, I was spinning my wheels up until my early 40s. And then I started to follow a plan called thinking into results, right? This is something that Bob Proctor worked on for 62 years. He's been studying the mind for 62 years. And they created this map, this blueprint of how to go from 0 to 100, how to go from 100,000 a year to 100,000 a month, or how to go from 100,000 a month to 100,000 a week, or how to go from 100 pounds overweight to fit, lean, and happy, right? So thinking into results. I mean, think about the title, thinking into results. It's a transmutation of energy, guys. All right. So I want you to imagine that you were like me 10 years ago, and you got in front of this information and you started to get around people that were thinking on a higher level. And you started to put some goals. Like I said, if you don't have a goal, one of the things that Bob says take your annual income, take whatever you make during the entire year. Matter of fact, I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Even some of you that I see on here that are in the group, take your entire annual income and then think about earning that every month. One of the things Bob did with me way back when, I was like, holy cow, and he really got me to think about it. Because I was doing, like I said, we're doing about 100 grand a year. I'm like, okay, 100K a month. I'm like, wow, I could do a lot with that. That'd be pretty cool. So I want you to think about it, right? If you don't have a goal, think about your annual income. And then what if that was your monthly income? And it's completely possible. I mean, my 25-year-old daughter earns more than that, right? And I'm not saying that to impress you. I say it to impress upon you. She's gone through this program. She teaches this program, right? But imagine what would your life be like? And even, even 30K a month. I don't know where you guys are at now. Some people, even 20K a month or 10K would be a complete change of life. It doesn't have to be a big number. It's just, what do you guys want? Who would you be helping? Where would you be living? Really want you to think about that number and think about what that would look like, because we can help you guys get there. That's a beautiful thing. If you're here in the entrepreneurs group, we're here to help you guys get there. Right? I want you to imagine where your life would be, traveling, bringing your family on vacation. What would you do with, 100K a month? And then understand all the pictures I just showed you. Number one, they're in my vision book. But number two, those are results. Those are results of goals, right? Getting the goal from your conscious into your subconscious causes the body to take action. Just like me 10 years ago. Next thing you know, you start to materialize these things. Does this make sense, guys? Right? So we take an idea, we transmute it to and through the body, and over time, we create what you guys would call results, right? And it's never about the money, it's about what the money can do for you. Now, obviously, these pictures are of material items, and I use that because we can see these things, It's hard to see happiness or see love or see philanthropy, but you can see the pictures here and visualize and start to think of some of the things that you guys might want to achieve. And the reason why I show you guys this picture is so that you understand that human beings, we are magnets. This is not just a cute phrase. We are actually electromagnetic beings, right? Electro is the energy, magnetic in the physical. We are electromagnetic beings, and we attract everything into our life. Whether you understand this or not is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, if you look at your relationships, your bank account, your body, your job, everything about your life, you have attracted into it. And if there's things in your life that you don't like, then we need to work on this together. We need to show you guys how to change a paradigm, to have a paradigm shift. And we talk about that here in the group too. That's another module that we teach, and we'll probably be teaching that in a few weeks. But again, the first thing is to set a goal, right? And this is the law of magnetism, right? The law of attraction should be called the law of magnetism, because that's really what it is, right? It's attracting what you want into your life through holding high vibrations. And here's a better example, right? You are a magnet. If you do certain things in a certain way, and you hold on to ideas, and you create goal cards, and you create a life script, and you start to move in the direction of your goal, you will start to attract into your life all the results, right? Or all the expressions of your goal fulfilled. The feeling must be of the wish fulfilled. So guys, if you want to dig a little deeper, I have a whole team of people that's been trained to work with you guys and to do little interviews. So type game plan in the chat if you would like to talk to one of our success advisors. These people have been trained by me. It might even be me myself. But if you would like to sit down with one of us, and we can take your current circumstances and we can probably cause a few paradigm shifts. We can help you come up with a goal that might serve you, and we can work with you guys on trying to figure this out. So if you want to dig a little bit deeper, guys, type game plan in the chat. One of our amazing people will reach out to you. They'll hold you by the hands. They'll dig a little deeper, and you might have some things that you might want to talk about that you're not comfortable talking about in a group setting. But I will promise you something. A lot of you are watching right now, but only a few of you are going to make decisions. One of the things about my little amazing offspring is that she is a decision maker. There's a reason why she's jetting around the world at 25 years old. She's healthy, she's wealthy, she's got the man of her dreams, and she's literally living a life that she doesn't need a vacation from. And again, I don't say that to impress you. She got in front of this material 2 decades before I did, right? I was in my early 40s. She was in her teens when she started studying this stuff, this thinking and the results. So guys, don't procrastinate, make a decision. If you want to sit down with one of us, type game plan in the chat, and one of our success advisors will reach out to you guys. And it's important to understand that anybody that succeeds at a high level usually has a mentor, right? Bob has been working with people for 62 years now. And he says in all 62 years of teaching, he has never witnessed anybody succeed at a high level, including himself, without a proven system, like thinking in the results, and a mentor that has done that, guys. So I would love to be your mentor if you see the value, if you'd like some help. I've dedicated the rest of my life towards helping people like yourselves. And I'm just so glad that somebody took the time way back when to help me as well. So thinking in the results is a mental toolbox created by the world's most successful people. And I wish I could claim credit for it, guys. It's not my program. We've just gotten very, very good at teaching it. And I've gotten very, very good at explaining this material. So go ahead and type game plan in the chat, guys. I'm going to leave you with this. Bob Proctor here says, when a wealthy person reaches their goal, it is exactly what they expected, precisely because through visualization, they've already been there. So it's very important for you guys to write a goal on your goal card. It's very important for you guys to understand how to raise your vibration. And it's very important to read that goal every morning, noon, and night, so you will move towards that goal. All right, guys, that's my time here for today. Hopefully you got some value out of tonight's little simulcast, tonight's little lesson. We run these every Monday night at 6 o'clock. It's just a give back, and there's different modules every week. And we'll probably go over something like the knowing, doing gap next week. All right, guys. So until then, be well. God bless, and we'll see you soon.